Gamers always say their backlog is too big, but somehow we still get excited for what's next. And honestly, looking at the upcoming lineup, it's hard not to. There's a mix of new ideas, sequels we've been waiting on, and even a few revivals that nobody saw coming. So instead of pretending we'll finish everything we already own, let's talk about the 50 upcoming games that are worth keeping on your radar. Alien Deathstorm puts you in the shoes of a combat engineer sent to investigate a colony that's gone completely silent. The catch is, the planet itself feels hostile. Storms tear through the landscape, and the alien creatures roaming around aren't exactly welcoming. It's a mix of survival horror and first-person shooting, where the environment is just as dangerous as the enemies. Rebellion is aiming for a tense, atmospheric experience that keeps you on edge, forcing you to balance fixing things with staying alive. The visuals lean into that bleak, storm-ravaged vibe, and the gameplay looks like it'll reward careful planning as much as quick reflexes. With Day 1 Game Pass support, it's easy to see a lot of players jumping in to test their nerves. It's not about being a hero, it's about surviving long enough to figure out what went wrong.
Seek shelter.
Artificial Detective takes a different approach to the cyberpunk genre. Instead of just blasting through neon-lit streets, you're playing as a D2846, a robot detective trying to solve the mystery of why humans have disappeared from the city. The game blends action-adventure mechanics with proper investigation work, so you'll be piecing together clues, interrogating suspects, and navigating a world that feels both futuristic and strangely empty. The tone is closer to a noir detective story than a typical sci-fi shooter, which gives it a unique personality. The developers at Vivix are clearly leaning into atmosphere, with rain-soaked streets, holographic evidence boards, and a sense of mystery that builds as you uncover more. It's not about saving the world, it's about solving cases in a city that's lost its humanity, and that angle makes it stand out.
I got you.
Dirty Fate is set in 17th century Korea, a time of famine and unrest, and it doesn't shy away from showing how brutal that world could be. You're thrown into a setting where demons, corrupt factions, and folklore-inspired monsters all collide, creating a constant sense of danger. The combat is raw and grounded, relying on swords, bows, and timing rather than flashy powers. Iggy Mob is building something that feels gritty and unforgiving, more about survival than heroics. The visuals lean into realism, with dark tones and environments that feel lived in rather than stylized. It's the kind of game where every fight feels like a struggle, and every victory feels earned. Coming to Game Pass, it's accessible to anyone curious about a historical setting with a supernatural twist, and it looks like it'll deliver a tough but rewarding experience. Hunter the Reckoning Deathwish brings back a franchise that's been quiet for over 2 decades. This time, it's built as a first-person action RPG, where you step into the shoes of hunters sworn to fight vampires, werewolves, and other creatures from the World of Darkness universe. The focus isn't just on combat, it's about building your character, choosing abilities, and surviving encounters that feel unpredictable. Taeon is aiming to capture that mix of horror atmosphere with RPG depth, so you'll be managing resources, upgrading skills, and deciding how to approach each mission. It's not flashy, but it's layered, and fans of the original will appreciate how it leans into the darker tone. With a release window set for summer 2027, it's shaping up to be a thoughtful revival rather than a simple nostalgia trip.
Shaw took control. There's nothing here.
have learned. We've prepared, and we won't let it happen again. A reckoning is coming.
Stranger Than Heaven is one of the more ambitious projects on the list. Developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio, the team behind the Like a Dragon series, it spans 5 different eras of Japanese history, covering the years between 1915 and 1965. Each era brings its own setting, characters, and conflicts, making it feel more like a saga than a single game. The studio is known for blending drama with grounded storytelling, so expect a mix of action, exploration, and narrative depth. What makes this stand out is the scale. It's not just one city or one timeline, it's multiple generations of stories tied together. Details are still limited, with a full reveal planned for May 2026, but the concept alone has people curious. It's less about spectacle and more about weaving history into a playable experience. Atomic Heart 2 continues the surreal, retro-futuristic world introduced in the first game, but expands it to a global scale. Munfish is building on the foundation of strange, Soviet-inspired technology, bizarre enemies, and combat that mixes firearms with experimental powers. The sequel promises deeper RPG systems, more customization, and environments that feel larger and more varied. Where the first game sometimes felt like a fever dream, this one looks more structured, with clearer progression and expanded mechanics. The dual-hand combat system is being refined, letting you combine weapons and abilities in creative ways. It's still strange, still unsettling, but it's aiming to be more polished and ambitious. For players who enjoyed the weirdness of the original, Atomic Heart 2 looks like it will deliver that same energy with more focus and scale. Black Myth Zhong continues Game Science's journey into Chinese mythology, this time focusing on the legendary demon hunter Zhong. Unlike Wukong's more playful trickster energy, Zhong is portrayed as a serious figure, someone feared by demons and respected in folklore. The game leans into dark, atmospheric settings, with combat that feels heavy and deliberate. You'll be facing creatures drawn from traditional stories, each designed to test patience and skill. What makes it stand out is the cultural depth. It's not just another fantasy RPG, it's rooted in myth that hasn't been explored much in gaming. The visuals are striking, with detailed environments and cinematic presentation, and the combat system looks like it will reward precision over button mashing. For players who enjoyed Black Myth Wukong, this feels like a natural next step, offering a different perspective on myth and legend. Gang of Dragon is being developed by Nagoshi Studio, led by Toshihiro Nagoshi, the creator of the Yakuza series. This project shifts the focus to Tokyo's underworld, with a story centered around crime, loyalty, and survival. It's set in Shinjuku and features Korean actor Ma Dong-suk, known for his strong, grounded performances. The game promises gritty combat and a narrative that digs into the darker side of city life. What makes it interesting is how it blends cinematic storytelling with street-level action, something Nagoshi has always excelled at. There are reports of funding challenges, which cast some uncertainty over its release, but the concept itself has generated a lot of curiosity. It's not about flashy powers or fantasy, it's about raw, human conflict in a modern setting, and that makes it stand apart from most of the other upcoming titles.
Hey, Daiki, when'd you make it back? Excuse me, sir. Shut your mouth. All right. Talk soon. On your feet, now! Son of a... Fuck it! Just kill him!
Project Windless is Krafton's adaptation of the Korean fantasy novel The Bird That Drinks Tears. It's an open-world RPG that aims to capture the novel's dark, poetic tone. The story revolves around recon warriors and a world filled with tragedy, betrayal, and supernatural elements. Unlike typical fantasy games that lean on Western mythology, this one draws from Korean cultural roots, giving it a unique flavor. The environments are designed to feel vast and immersive, with a focus on exploration and narrative depth. Combat is expected to be challenging, blending traditional weaponry with mystical abilities. What makes it compelling is the source material. It's a novel with a strong following, and Krafton is trying to translate that into a playable experience. It's ambitious, and while details are still limited, the promise of a fresh take on fantasy storytelling is what has people paying attention. The Untitled John Wick game is shaping up to be a proper AAA adaptation of the franchise, developed by Saber Interactive in collaboration with Lionsgate. What makes this exciting is that it's not just a spin-off or a small tie-in, it's being built as a full cinematic action experience, with Keanu Reeves reprising his role. The focus is on gun-fu combat, driving, and missions that feel like they belong in the films. The developers are aiming for a mix of fluid shooting mechanics and stylish choreography, so every fight looks and feels like a John Wick set piece. It's not about reinventing the genre, but about capturing the energy of the movies in playable form. Details are still under wraps, but the promise of stepping into Wick's shoes in a proper game world has fans paying close attention.
He must be grounded, stable, constant. I believe you are ready, sir.
Yeah.
Control is back, but this time Dylan Faden takes the spotlight. Remedy is doubling down on surreal powers, shifting environments, and that signature eerie vibe. Dylan wields the Aberrant, a weapon that morphs between melee and ranged forms, letting you smash through enemies in style. The setting? A post-apocalyptic Manhattan, drenched in paranormal chaos. Think reality-bending combat, haunting visuals, and a story that digs deeper into the Bureau's mysteries. If you loved Jesse's journey, this feels like the next evolution. More brutal, more cinematic, and way more unpredictable.
Almost there, Zoe. What the hell is that thing?
think I hear something. I know where the Resonant is, Zoe. I'll call you back.
Resonants are the dominant threat in what's our most ambitious game to date. And we can't wait to share it with you later in 2026.
Ember Lab is back with a sequel that feels bigger, darker, and more emotional. Kina is older now, a seasoned spirit guide, traveling to the mysterious island of Kosmora to uncover secrets about her lifelong affliction. The world is lush but corrupted, with fractured spirits and elemental puzzles waiting to be solved. Combat has been expanded. Her staff now channels elemental powers, and spirit companions play a bigger role in battles and exploration. It's still that heartfelt mix of Pixar-like visuals and action adventure, but with a more mature edge. Expect epic bosses, deeper lore, and a story that hits harder.
That temple has been sealed as long as I can remember. Dangerous corruption was locked inside, along with the secrets of forgotten practice. Spirit guides here once used alchemy to cleanse corruption. Maybe you can do the same.
Fear will bind you, gripping to the present, which must always pass. Regret will bind you, longing for the past you cannot change. Love will bind you, yearning for a future you will not see. Unbound, may you depart in peace.
Blood Message is set during the Xiaozhou Uprising in 848 AD, a turbulent period in Tang Dynasty China. The story follows a messenger and his son as they navigate a dangerous journey through conflict and rebellion. It's designed as a linear action-adventure, focusing on narrative and atmosphere rather than sprawling open worlds. The developers at 24 Entertainment are known for Naraka Bladepoint, and here they're taking a more grounded approach, blending historical detail with emotional storytelling. Combat looks sharp and deliberate, with an emphasis on survival and tension. What makes it stand out is the setting. Few games explore this era, and the father-son dynamic adds a personal layer to the larger conflict. It's not about spectacle, but about experiencing history through a human lens, and that makes it feel unique.
Anya, 等着我。
是对信使。
Playground Games is taking the Horizon Festival to Japan, and it looks stunning. Launching May 19th, 2026, Forza Horizon 6 features Tokyo, Mount Fuji, and a massive open world packed with over 550 cars. It's the biggest Horizon map yet, blending neon cityscapes with serene countryside drives. Expect the usual festival chaos, races, stunts, co-op exploration, but with a distinctly Japanese flavor. Pre-orders even come with a custom Ferrari J50. Whether you're drifting through Shibuya or racing down mountain passes, this is shaping up to be the most stylish Horizon yet. And yes, it's day one on Game Pass. The Godslayer is an open-world RPG from Pathea Games, set in a steampunk-inspired world ruled by celestial beings. You play as an Elemancer, someone who can wield elemental powers, and the story revolves around rising against the gods who dominate society. The world mixes industrial design with mystical elements, creating a setting that feels both mechanical and magical. Combat is built around combining elemental abilities, giving players freedom to experiment with different styles. Exploration is a big part of the experience, with cities, landscapes, and factions to interact with. What makes it interesting is the blend of genres. It's part fantasy, part steampunk, and part rebellion story. Instead of focusing on saving the world in a dramatic way, it's more about carving out your place in a society controlled by higher powers.
Come on!
Silent Hill is back, and Townfall looks like it's going to mess with our heads in the best way. Developed by No Code Studios with Konami and Annapurna Interactive, it drops us into St. Amelia, a creepy island town where Simon Ordell tries to put things right. Expect tense stealth, cryptic puzzles, and those surreal Silent Hill vibes that make you question reality. The reveal trailer shows a man washed ashore, hinting at psychological horror layered with explosive confrontations. It's launching in 2026 for PS5 and PC, and honestly, it feels like Silent Hill finally found its modern voice. Moody, mysterious, and deeply unsettling.
I woke up in the water again. But this time it's different. I keep trying to fix what happened. But no matter what I do,
You can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things. You did what you did.
Crystal Dynamics is reimagining Lara Croft's 1996 debut with Unreal Engine 5, and it looks gorgeous. Legacy of Atlantis takes us from Peru's jungles to Greece's ruins, Egypt's deserts, and a myth-shrouded Mediterranean island. The story revolves around hunting the Scion, an artifact tied to Atlantis, with expanded puzzles, fluid traversal, and cinematic combat. It's both a faithful remake and a modern adventure, honoring Lara's roots while giving new players a blockbuster experience. The gameplay reveal shows sprawling ruins, deadly traps, and Lara at her most iconic. This is shaping up to be the definitive Tomb Raider revival for 2026.
Every chasm. I didn't know then the path this adventure would send me on. But it lit a fire that still burns. I need to see more. I need to go further. To uncover the secrets of Atlantis. Some legends are destined to be retold.
This one's pure style. Phantom Blade Zero is a wuxia punk action RPG, blending martial arts fantasy with steampunk grit. You play as Soul, an assassin unraveling conspiracies in the Phantom world. Combat is fast, fluid, and cinematic. Think swordplay mixed with industrial chaos. Built in Unreal Engine 5, it's set to launch worldwide on September 9th, 2026, for PS5 and PC. The trailers show sweeping environments, brutal bosses, and a vibe that feels like Sekiro meets Blade Runner. It's ambitious, flashy, and unapologetically unique. Exactly the kind of game that could steal the spotlight in 2026.
I knew it. You'd never break so easily. But why did you come back?
The Order's blades are coming. They failed once. They won't fail again.
Please, take it. Save our people. The girl's nothing but a shell now. She'll never be the same.
You broke my blade.
But we broke your spirit!
Phantom is movement, striking from where none expect. Blade is breath. We channel it into steel, turning any blade into a divine weapon. When Phantom and Blade unite, no enemy stands.
IO Interactive is giving us Bond's origin story, and it looks slick. First Light drops May 27th, 2026 across PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Switch 2. It's a single-player action-adventure inspired by Ian Fleming's novels, showing Bond's journey to earn his license to kill. Expect stealth, gadgets, exotic locations, and cinematic missions. IO, the team behind Hitman, knows how to build stylish espionage gameplay, and this feels like the perfect fit. Trailers tease Aston Martins, globe-trotting missions, and a young Bond facing his first true test. It's Bond reborn for modern gaming, and fans are hyped.
James, the service is over.
You're a rare breed, Bond. I should be interested to see what you do next.
009 will employ every manner of subterfuge to avoid capture.
Try not to draw attention to yourself.
Me?
Housekeeping, I presume?
You seem the kind of guy who knows what he likes.
So you won't do anything stupid?
Of course not. I'm not an idiot.
Agents have very short life expectancy. And if
you do get caught, we will deny ever having heard of you. How does that sound?
When do I start?
Game Freak is stepping outside Pokemon with their first AAA non-Nintendo release, and it's wild. Beast of Reincarnation launches August 4th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Set in Japan in the year 4026, you play Emma the Sealer and her dog Ku, navigating a corrupted post-apocalyptic world. The hook? Emma befriends forbidden monsters, sealing their energy while battling others. It's a dark, emotional action RPG with heavy combat mechanics, far removed from Game Freak's usual style. Trailers show haunting landscapes, mythic beasts, and a story about survival and unlikely bonds. This could be their boldest project yet. Tomb Raider Catalyst takes Lara Croft to northern India, where a mythical cataclysm has reshaped the land. Crystal Dynamics is building this as a continuation of Lara's journey, but with a fresh voice. Alex Wilton Regan steps in to portray her. The setting is rich with ruins, temples, and landscapes that feel both ancient and dangerous. Gameplay is expected to mix exploration, puzzles, and combat, staying true to the series' roots while pushing into new territory. What makes this entry interesting is the focus on aftermath. Lara isn't just uncovering secrets, she's navigating a world changed by disaster. It's less about spectacle and more about resilience, with environments designed to challenge both movement and problem solving. With Amazon Games publishing, the scale feels ambitious, and fans are curious to see how this new chapter balances tradition with innovation. This one's a surprise, an MMORPG set in the Horizon universe. Developed by NCSoft with Guerrilla, Steel Frontiers takes Aloy's world and expands it into a massive online frontier. Set in the Deadlands, players become machine hunters in a survival-driven MMO with Horizon's signature combat. It's cross-platform on PC and mobile, built on NCSoft's Purple app, and while no release date is locked yet, the reveal at G-Star 2025 showed large-scale battles, cooperative hunts, and a world teeming with mechanical threats. It's bold, risky, and could be the next big MMO if it nails that Horizon magic. The Witcher 4 marks the start of a new trilogy, and this time, Ciri takes the lead. CD Projekt Red is building the game on Unreal Engine 5, promising a more flexible and modern foundation. The story is set in Kovir, a region not deeply explored in previous titles, giving players a fresh backdrop. While Geralt may appear, the focus is firmly on Ciri's journey, her choices, and the consequences that follow. The studio has nearly 500 developers working on it, which shows the scale of ambition. Fans can expect the familiar mix of monster hunting, moral dilemmas, and branching narratives, but with a new perspective. It's not about repeating the past, it's about expanding the universe in a way that feels natural. Release is still years away, but anticipation is already high, especially among players who wanted Ciri to take center stage.
Oh no, no, no.
It's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods, to go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
From Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky, comes Light No Fire, a fantasy survival sandbox set on a planet the size of Earth. It's all about exploration, building, and adventure, but with RPG depth layered into the freedom of a survival game. Imagine Valheim vibes, but on a truly massive scale, with procedurally generated biomes, enemies, and resources. The trailers show colorful landscapes, cooperative play, and endless possibilities. It's ambitious, maybe even risky, but Hello Games has proven they can turn bold ideas into reality. If No Man's Sky was about space, Light No Fire is about living a whole fantasy world together. Insomniac Games is swinging from Spider-Man into something grittier, Marvel's Wolverine. Launching fall 2026 exclusively on PS5, it's a brutal, story-driven action game where Logan claws through Sentinels, Marauders, and his own past. Expect visceral combat, cinematic storytelling, and that trademark Insomniac polish. The teasers hint at a darker tone, with Logan searching for answers while unleashing rage in violent claw-to-claw battles. Fans are buzzing about possible cameos. Daredevil rumors are already swirling, but even without them, Wolverine looks like the most raw, unapologetic Marvel game yet. This is Logan Unleashed, and it's going to be huge.
Doesn't matter where I go. How far I run. Death's always waiting. Just not for me. I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Cold Symmetry is back with Mortal Shell 2, and it's doubling down on everything that made the first game a cult hit. Expect brutal Souls-like combat, haunting environments, and new shells that completely change how you fight. The sequel promises deeper lore, more grotesque enemies, and expanded mechanics that reward patience and precision. The trailers show eerie landscapes, twisted bosses, and combat that feels heavier and more punishing than ever. It's not trying to reinvent the genre, it's leaning into its grim identity, offering a hardcore experience for players who crave challenge. If you loved the first, this looks like pure evolution. This one's mysterious but intriguing. Fourloop is a time-bending shooter where every death rewrites reality. Think of it as a mix between Deathloop and Returnal, but with its own unique spin. You're stuck in a cycle where choices ripple across timelines, enemies adapt, and environments shift. The trailers tease stylish gunplay, surreal visuals, and a narrative that plays with paradoxes. It's fast, chaotic, and designed to keep you guessing. The hook is simple: die, learn, repeat, but with a twist that makes each loop feel fresh. It's the kind of game that could become a sleeper hit in 2026.
Ways that create emergent gameplay and endless, replayable chaos. That means your decisions really matter, and creativity and improvisation are key. We really want players to try things and think outside the box, like hacking an alien terminal to provide intel to the rest of the team, or being bombarded by killbot drop pods, or barely escaping with your life. And if you do die, don't worry. So long as one of you makes it back to home base, you'll be reprinted and ready to try again. The home base is a place for your team to readjust their strategy, evolve your loadout, and choose rewards from an increasing array of powerful gear and upgrades. Each act of the probability map culminates in one of multiple boss battles. This is the Scanner Boss, a huge geologic surveyor that scans for flux deposits to harvest. Its scan fields are very lethal, creating a dynamic obstacle course of lasers to avoid while attempting to destroy the boss itself. Because the scanner's body rotates like a 3D puzzle, you want to spread out and attack it from all sides. All, of course, while avoiding the slow-moving, lethal laser grids.
Supermassive Games is taking their horror anthology into space. Directive 8020 is set aboard a doomed colony ship where paranoia, isolation, and survival collide. Expect branching choices, cinematic storytelling, and that signature tension the Dark Pictures series is known for, but now with sci-fi horror vibes. The teaser shows eerie corridors, malfunctioning systems, and crew members unraveling under pressure. It's part of their new season of interactive horror, and fans are already buzzing about how terrifying space can be when you add Supermassive's flair. If you enjoyed Until Dawn or The Quarry, this is the next nightmare waiting to unfold.
This ship is infected with an alien organism.
It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Never forget why you started.
Lord have mercy.
Do you think Williams knows more about this substance than he's letting on?
We can't take any chances with him.
It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
Playground Games is reimagining Fable, and it's shaping up to be a whimsical yet modern RPG revival. Built in Unreal Engine 5, it promises lush fantasy landscapes, cheeky humor, and moral choices that define your hero's journey. The trailers show Albion alive with quirky characters, magical combat, and that classic tongue-in-cheek tone fans loved. It's not just nostalgia, it's a full reboot designed to bring Fable into the current era. Expect sprawling quests, dynamic choices, and a world that reacts to your actions. Playground nailed open world design with Forza, and now they're bringing that expertise to fantasy. Fatekeeper is one of those new IPs that instantly grabs attention. It's a fantasy RPG where destiny itself becomes your weapon. You wield powers tied to fate, rewriting battles and shaping the world around you. The trailers tease epic environments, mythic creatures, and a narrative that feels both personal and grand. Combat looks tactical yet cinematic, with abilities that bend reality in your favor. It's ambitious, blending storytelling with mechanics in a way that feels fresh. If it delivers, Fatekeeper could stand alongside giants like Fable and Elden Ring as one of 2026's breakout fantasy titles.
Fatekeeper.
THQ Nordic and Alchemia Interactive are bringing Gothic back, and it's shaping up to be a faithful yet modernized revival of the cult classic. The remake keeps the gritty prison colony setting, where you're just a nameless hero trying to survive among convicts, mercenaries, and monsters. Expect updated visuals, smoother combat, and expanded quests while staying true to the original's harsh tone. Fans loved Gothic for its unforgiving world and freedom of choice, and this remake looks to preserve that while making it accessible to new players. It's nostalgia with polish, and for RPG fans, it's a long-awaited return.
Leave her! Awaken!
Rockstar's Juggernaut finally lands in 2026, and the hype is unreal. GTA 6 takes us to Vice City and beyond, with a sprawling map that blends neon nightlife, swamps, and countryside chaos. The story follows Lucia and Jason, a Bonnie and Clyde duo navigating crime, betrayal, and survival. Expect Rockstar's signature detail, living cities, dynamic NPCs, and missions that feel like mini-movies. The trailers show jaw-dropping visuals, insane physics, and a world that reacts to your every move. It's not just another GTA, it's the next evolution of open-world gaming, and honestly, it might dominate the entire year. Capcom's mysterious sci-fi project finally arrives after years of delays. Pragmata drops us into a dystopian future where Earth is shattered, and a young girl named Diana holds the key to humanity's survival. You play as a suited astronaut, navigating surreal landscapes, battling strange anomalies, and uncovering cryptic truths. The trailers are haunting, empty cities, shattered skies, and emotional beats that hint at a deeper story. Capcom has kept details tight, but the vibe screams atmospheric sci-fi adventure with emotional weight. It's weird, it's bold, and it could be one of the most unique releases of 2026.
What were you like as a kid?
When I was young, I was in an orphanage. I was a lot like you. I had a few bumps along the way. But I had someone Someone looking out for me. And now it's your turn.
Removal time exceeding estimates. Deploying reinforcements.
What in the...
Vindictus Defying Fate reimagines the world of the original MMO as a dark fantasy action RPG. Nexon is shifting from the online focus to a more contained experience, blending single-player storytelling with multiplayer options. The game draws heavily from Celtic mythology, with environments and enemies designed to feel both mystical and threatening. Combat is fast and punishing, leaning into a Souls-like style where timing and precision matter. Early alpha tests have shown a focus on atmosphere, with detailed environments and a tone that feels heavier than the original. It's not about nostalgia, it's about taking familiar lore and presenting it in a new way. For players who enjoyed Vindictus but wanted something more structured, Defying Fate looks like a chance to revisit that world with fresh mechanics and a darker edge. Digital Extremes, the team behind Warframe, is going in a completely new direction with Soulsframe. Instead of sci-fi gunplay, this is a fantasy RPG focused on melee combat, nature themes, and slower, more deliberate gameplay. The world is lush, mystical, and alive, with creatures that feel both beautiful and terrifying. Combat looks weighty, with swords, shields, and magic woven into fluid encounters. The trailers show sprawling forests, ancient ruins, and a vibe that's more spiritual than futuristic. It's ambitious, and if Warframe was about speed and chaos, Soulsframe is about patience, immersion, and connection to the world.
Or yield to it. Once you've learned, that is a choice only you can make. Don't you forget it. Even if they find you, even if they sing their song, the magic, it's in you. Yours. Like the wind.
Aphelion is one of those mysterious new RPGs that instantly sparks curiosity. Set in a cosmic frontier, it blends sci-fi exploration with fantasy storytelling. You're navigating fractured worlds, uncovering ancient civilizations, and wielding powers tied to celestial cycles. The trailers tease surreal landscapes, massive structures floating in space, and combat that mixes magic with futuristic tech. It's ambitious, with a vibe that feels like Mass Effect meets Elden Ring. Details are still tight, but the promise is clear. Aphelion wants to deliver a grand, otherworldly adventure where every choice echoes across galaxies.
Crashed on Persephone. I lost contact with Dr. Montclair.
Hang on, Thomas. I got this.
Oh, shit.
I'm not alone.
What the hell?
It's stalking me. Crap, no! Oh, no. No, 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 no. Mission control. Anybody copy? Holy shit.
XL Games is expanding the ArcheAge universe with Chronicles, a new MMORPG that dives deeper into lore and large-scale battles. Expect sprawling continents, naval combat, and faction wars that define the player experience. The trailers show massive sieges, cooperative raids, and a world that feels alive with political intrigue. It's built to be more accessible than the original, while still offering hardcore systems for veterans. Chronicles looks like a chance for ArcheAge to reclaim its spot among MMO giants, with modern visuals and mechanics that keep the grind rewarding.
I still have no trust in your kind. Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.
This one's for fans of gritty realism. Chronicle Medieval is a historically grounded RPG set in the brutal Middle Ages. Forget fantasy magic, this is about survival, politics, and the harsh realities of medieval life. You'll navigate feudal conflicts, manage resources, and fight in bloody, grounded combat. The trailers show villages under siege, knights clashing in muddy battlefields, and choices that shape your rise or downfall. It's aiming for authenticity with a focus on immersion and consequence. If you've ever wanted a medieval RPG without dragons, this could be the one to watch in 2026.
I became like them. I took up the sword, prayed I could win redemption through my deeds. But some paths, once taken, have only one ending. I shall find no peace. On this road, there is only death. But that's just my story. Go write your own.
Crimson Moon is a horror RPG drenched in atmosphere. Set in a world cursed by a blood-red moon, players face grotesque creatures, twisted cults, and a narrative that drips with dread. Combat looks punishing, with survival mechanics layered into exploration. The trailers tease eerie forests, haunted ruins, and a constant sense of unease. It's not just about fighting monsters, it's about unraveling the mystery of the Crimson Moon itself. With its gothic tone and relentless tension, this feels like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, but with its own unique identity. Bandai Namco is back with Ace Combat 8, and it's looking like the most cinematic entry yet. Wings of Thieves puts players in the cockpit of advanced fighter jets battling across sprawling skies with a story full of betrayal and intrigue. Expect high-speed dogfights, massive set pieces, and that signature blend of arcade action with military drama. The trailers show stunning aerial battles, carrier strikes, and emotional cutscenes that tie the chaos together. Ace Combat has always been about spectacle, and this one looks ready to push the franchise into blockbuster territory.
Ace of Aces. He's a mass delusion fabricated by the rumor mill of social media.
Radar contact. We think it's the shadows.
Our lone target is Wings.
All dogs fire. Time to pull out. 22.
Roger that.
God damn it.
Start swimming, soldier. Make it home alive.
Let's keep at it, Rex.
Ray, heads up!
On your orders, Rex.
To keep hope alive, Wings of Thieves must stay on the mission. Must fly on.
I can make up your kill count to be whatever.
Right. From now on, you'll be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know.
No Law is shaping up to be one of the grittiest survival titles of 2026. Set in a post-collapse wasteland where society has completely broken down, you're thrown into a brutal fight for survival, with no rules, no safety nets, and no mercy. The trailers show scavenging, tense shootouts, and a world where every encounter feels unpredictable. It's less about polished heroics and more about raw survival, crafting, raiding, and making tough calls in a lawless land. Think Mad Max energy, but with heavier RPG mechanics. It's grim, chaotic, and exactly the kind of game that thrives on player freedom.
Desire is a fickle mistress. The city won't let me go. It won't forget my name. I asked for nothing, and they still came and took everything. The mayors and anyone that stands in my way, every last one of them. They're gonna learn something real simple. You reap what you sow.
Capcom is reviving Onimusha, and fans couldn't be happier. Way of the Sword takes us back to feudal Japan, where samurai warriors battle demonic forces in a cinematic action adventure. The trailers highlight fluid swordplay, supernatural powers, and sprawling environments that mix historical authenticity with fantasy horror. It's both a nostalgic callback and a modern reimagining, built to capture the intensity of samurai combat while delivering a fresh story. Onimusha has always been about atmosphere and blade-to-blade tension, and this new entry looks ready to bring that to a whole new generation.
Righteous! And after everything you and your awful kind put him through, too. Were you feeling left out? Here, let me show you something to cheer you up. Controlling this lightning.
I don't have time for these stupid games!
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Anyway, do enjoy.
Spine is a cyberpunk action game that oozes style. Developed by Neki, it's all about cinematic gunplay mixed with martial arts choreography. You play as a rebel fighter taking on a corrupt megacorp, with combat designed to feel like an action movie unfolding in real time. The trailers show neon-lit cityscapes, slick takedowns, and a combat system that blends shooting with acrobatics. It's flashy, fast, and unapologetically over the top. If you've ever wanted to feel like you're starring in your own cyberpunk action flick, Spine looks like it's built exactly for that fantasy.
I never asked for this.
Lovecraft fans, this one's for you. Cthulhu the Cosmic Abyss dives deep into cosmic horror, with players unraveling mysteries tied to ancient gods and unfathomable terrors. The trailers tease eerie coastal towns, cult rituals, and encounters with creatures that defy comprehension. It's less about combat and more about atmosphere, psychological dread, exploration, and choices that test your sanity. The vibe is pure Lovecraft, unsettling, surreal, and dripping with existential fear. If done right, this could be one of the most haunting experiences of 2026, pulling players into a nightmare they can't escape.
Welcome to Pit Station, Noah.
What the hell happened here?
Bringing me to where you are.
What the... This is strange. It doesn't feel right.
Ill is one of the most disturbing horror projects on the horizon. Developed by Team Clout, it's a body horror FPS that pushes realism to terrifying extremes. The trailers show grotesque mutations, unsettling environments, and gameplay that feels like a nightmare you can't wake up from. It's not just jump scares, it's psychological and visceral horror, designed to make players squirm. Every encounter looks brutal, every shadow feels threatening, and the attention to detail is unnerving. Ill isn't for the faint of heart, but for horror fans, it's shaping up to be one of the most unforgettable releases of 2026. Pod racing is back, and it's bigger than ever. Star Wars Galactic Racer revives the classic Episode 1 racer vibe, but with modern visuals, expanded tracks, and online competition. The trailers show high-speed races across Tatooine, Coruscant, and brand new planets, with customizable pods and cinematic crashes. It's pure adrenaline, mixing nostalgia with next-gen spectacle. Fans have been begging for a pod racing revival, and this looks like the definitive version. Fast, chaotic, and dripping with Star Wars atmosphere. Whether you're chasing records or just reliving childhood memories, Galactic Racer is set to be a wild ride in 2026.
did! If they weren't holding me back right now, I'd have you frozen in carbonite!
The Goblin Thief is back, and he's meaner than ever. Styx, Blades of Greed, continues the stealth-driven fantasy chaos, with Styx sneaking through sprawling castles, dungeons, and cities. The trailers highlight expanded stealth mechanics, shadow manipulation, traps, and brutal takedowns, while keeping that sarcastic humor fans love. It's not about brute force, it's about clever infiltration, stealing treasures, and outsmarting enemies. The environments look bigger, more vertical, and packed with secrets. Styx has always been the underdog anti-hero, and Blades of Greed feels like his most ambitious outing yet.
And even orcs. Damn, that skin's tough. Now these bastards are gonna be everywhere, so I need to stay in the dark, observe, and then strike. Obviously, I'm not some brainless rakash. I got quite a few tasty tricks up my sleeve. Enough to kill things my way. 60 seconds already? I barely started. Fine. Now let's make it 90. I can modify my abilities with that shiny skill tree and some runes for unique twists. Let's not forget quartz. With that stuff, my new powers will slow down time and even get inside my enemies' heads. So quit drooling and pre-order.
Dive back into Alien Oceans with Subnautica 2, launching in 2026. Unknown Worlds is expanding the survival mechanics with co-op play, deeper crafting, and new biomes teeming with strange life. The trailers show eerie underwater caves, massive leviathans, and surface exploration that adds a fresh layer to the formula. It's still about survival, resource management, and discovery, but now with more freedom and danger. Subnautica has always nailed atmosphere, beautiful yet terrifying, and the sequel looks ready to push that tension even further. If the first game kept you on edge, this one will drown you in possibilities. This Gothic fantasy RPG is dripping with atmosphere. The Blood of Dawnwalker puts players in a cursed land where choices shape your fate, hero, villain, or something in between. The trailers tease haunting castles, twisted forests, and enemies that feel pulled straight from nightmares. Combat looks punishing, but cinematic, with magic and melee woven together. It's not just about fighting, it's about unraveling the mystery of the Dawnwalker's bloodline and surviving a world that wants you broken. Think dark fantasy storytelling with branching paths, where every decision carries weight.
Docile cattle. Not me, though. They tried to change me into one of them. But I became something else instead. Their worst nightmare. Trapped between the two worlds. Fighting to even the score. Fighting to understand the evil behind it all. He is out there watching, seeping into you, growing.
Closing out the list is Tides of Annihilation, a dark fantasy apocalypse where players fight against inevitable doom. The world is collapsing under supernatural tides, and you're one of the few trying to resist annihilation. The trailers show massive battles, grotesque enemies, and a tone that feels both epic and tragic. It's about survival, sacrifice, and pushing back against forces too big to truly defeat. The vibe is heavy, cinematic, and unapologetically bleak. If you're into games that challenge not just your skills, but your emotions, Tides of Annihilation looks like a haunting finale to 2026's lineup.
Forged.
My wish can be fulfilled.
But wishes come at a price.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
Final warning.
And that's the list. 15 upcoming games that are all fighting for a spot on your playlist. Drop your favorite in the comments. Let me know which one you're planning to play first, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you're here when we break down the next wave of releases. See you next time.